Now that the Pi Web API is configured for OIDC authentication, we can configure the AVEVA Adapter for MQTT for OIDC authentication. The general procedure is as follows. Create the client ID and secret using PowerShell on the AVEVA Identity Manager server. Give the client ID the appropriate OIDC mappings. And lastly, configure the adapter to use the created client ID and secret to authenticate to the Pi Web API OMF endpoint. On Pi Server 1, open Windows File Explorer to the C class folder and right-click on the file called configure MQTT client-secret.ps1 and choose Edit. This will open up Windows PowerShell ISE with a script containing the necessary command to create the client ID and client secret. Click on the green play button to run the command. If successful, the output should look like the following. On Pi Server 01, open up Pi SMT, then navigate to Security, Mappings. Click the New Mapping button on the toolbar. Choose OpenID Connect and click on the ellipsis. Choose Client ID and choose the MQTT Adapter 1 that we made earlier and click OK. Under Pi Identity, choose Adapters, then click Create. Note, the Identity Adapters has already been given the necessary permissions for writing OMF data to the Pi Data Archive. For more detail on these permissions, please review the documentation in the description. On Pi Server 1, open up PSE, then navigate to File, Server Properties. Navigate to the Mappings tab, and right-click in the blank area to choose New Mapping. Choose OpenID Connect and click on the magnifying glass. Choose Client ID and choose MQTT Adapter 1 that we made earlier and click OK. Under Identity, choose Adapter and click OK. Note, the Identity Adapters has already been given the necessary permissions for writing OMF data on the Pi Asset Framework. For more detail on these permissions, please review the documentation in the description. On Pi Client 01, open up Windows File Explorer to C class MQTT and right-click on the file configure OMF endpoint OIDC.ps1 and click Edit. This will open up Windows PowerShell ISE with a script containing the necessary command to create the Pi Web API data endpoint and authenticate it using OIDC. Click the green play button to run the command. Of particular importance in this command is the 446 port, which is where we configured Pi Web API to listen. Once we see the operation has been completed successfully message, the adapter should be sending data. To confirm data is flowing, on Pi Client 01, open up a browser and navigate to Pi Vision. Create a new display. Click on Pi Server 1 in the search, and then search for MQTT*. Drag the resulting tag onto the display to see the data and confirm that the adapter is sending data and authenticating with OIDC.